I honestly think if I was a student who had no clue what anything was, and I read this guide from back to front and I implemented everything on it or inside it, I would be guaranteed a graduate offer or an internship in asset management. What's going on, people? So you want to break into asset management, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet, hopefully do this video in less than 5 minutes, but there's 5 key things for you to know in order to break in. These are the different types of clients in asset management, the different types of roles in asset management, how you can leverage qualifications to help you, a solid resource that I'm going to be sharing with you, and then in general, the technicals, the lingo, jargon that will be useful for you to be aware of. So let's start with the first thing, clients. When you're doing your research for spring weeks, internships, graduate schemes, it's important to know, like if you go into an interview, if you can show an awareness of the different types of clients that asset managers deal with, immediately you're going to stand out. Because most candidates, they go into interviews and they just talk about why they're interested, blah, 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 but they don't focus on the actual thing that asset management employees are dealing with every day, and it's the end client. So if you can show an understanding of either pension funds, so why pension funds use asset managers. Typically pension funds have lots of money. They've got money of individuals who are employees right now and they're going to retire in 30, 40 years. And so they need to invest that money accordingly. They typically invest it in bonds, equities, depending on the stage of their retirees, right? So you want to look into that. You want to look into how pension funds invest, why they invest, and why they use asset managers. I'm saying these things so you can go carry out that research in your own time. That's one client, pension funds. Then you've got insurance companies. Insurance companies have tons of money. Imagine everyone who owns a car has to pay insurance. All that money needs to go somewhere. Insurance companies have all that money. That money isn't going to be used just sitting there. It's useful to invest it. That goes to asset managers. How do they invest it? Why do insurance companies need asset managers? Look into that. Then you've got sovereign wealth funds, governments, endowment funds, charities, all these other clients that asset managers have. If you can do a bit of research and find out a bit about these, then when you go to an interview and you can talk about these, like you can say to the interviewer, oh, I was doing some research and I saw you guys manage money for pension funds, insurance companies, sovereign wealth funds. If you're a student and you're talking about this, you're going to be way ahead of the curve. When I was a student interviewing, I didn't have a clue who the clients were for asset managers. So that's the clients. Next thing you want to talk about is the roles. So typically there's lots of different roles within asset management, and the resource I'm going to mention in point 4 will give you more context. But the main two, or the most popular two, or where there's the most internships and offers, is the investment roles and the sales roles. So the investment roles are investing the money into the actual financial markets. They're managing capital for the clients that we previously spoke about. The sales roles are responsible for bringing money into the business. So going out, pitching to clients, winning that business, bringing it in. And then when the clients are invested in the markets, the salespeople are responsible for client relationship management. What that means is they're responsible for making sure clients get everything they want, they have any questions answered, and they're just basically keeping that relationship warm. Because in asset management, it's important to know, clients don't invest for a day or two, they invest for months, weeks, months, years, and beyond, sometimes even decades. So it's a very long-term business. So the sales role is very important in terms of that client relationship management aspect. You can stand out by talking about other roles as well. So you can say, how do the salespeople or the investment professionals work with the operations people, or how do they work with the client accounts team? How do they work with HR? If you show a holistic understanding of the different roles within asset management, then it's going to stand out to the person interviewing you, or if you write about it on your application. All right, the third thing is qualifications. So when you break into asset management, if you're going to be in a sales role, you will have to do, in order to talk to clients, you're going to have to do the IMC, the Investment Management Certificate. So if you can get that done and out the way, there's 2 levels, it's pretty easy. It takes about 120 hours of study time or 200 hours of study time. I can't remember correctly in total. I think it's 80 hours for the first exam, 120 for the second exam. If you can get the IMC under your belt as a student or a graduate, it shows that you're actually committed to asset management. You're serious, you know what you're doing, you're actually taking it seriously. So that's one, IMC. Now, if you want to go a level above, and everyone in the investment side, so the investment professionals, will have the CFA. So this is more expensive. It's like $3,000. There's 3 levels. Each takes like a year and a half to do. It's very difficult. Each costs like 3 to 5 grand. But if you want to show incentive, you could say you're studying for CFA level 1, or you've achieved CFA level 1. It shows commitment and dedication to the industry. And so that's how you can use qualifications to set yourself apart from the crowd, as opposed to just having like a undergrad degree or a master's degree. All right, number 4 is the Introduction to Asset Management Career Guide. This is a career guide that I've put together, and I honestly believe it's probably the most comprehensive guide to asset management out there on the internet. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. It's just taken me a while to do. It's a 75 page, I say 75 page, but I'm recording this before it's actually complete. But it's a super extensive guide to asset management for any student, graduate or professional. You can see it, you can check it out using the first link in the video description, and it covers anything and everything that you would ever want to know about asset management, from everything we've spoken about today to the different roles in more detail, to the different salaries, to the clients, commercial awareness, interview tips, CV, cover letter, everything that I've got in here, plus my research on the internet has gone into this guide. I honestly think if I was a student who had no clue what anything was, and I read this guide from back to front and I implemented everything on it or inside it, I would be guaranteed a graduate offer or an internship in asset management. But check it out, it's very thorough and it's very comprehensive. First link in the video description. And then last but not least, the technicals. Now you can find out more details in the guide on technicals, but if you want to get into asset management, you need to know a few of the technical terms. Now that might be things like, you know, what is investing, what is portfolio management, what are asset classes, but it's very important to just get your technical jargon under your belt. Simple way to do this is to Google search technical asset management interview questions for interns, technical asset management interview questions for graduates, technical asset management interview questions for analysts. See what comes up and just read the answers and memorize them so that you get an understanding of the different technical things that you can expect. If you're an intern and you have a graduate level understanding of asset management and the technicals, then you're going to impress and it's more likely you're going to get an offer. If you're a graduate and you know an analyst's level of expertise in asset management and the technicals, then you're more likely to get an offer. It's always important. Investment roles require more of a technical expertise than sales roles, but even if you're going for a sales role, just practice and learn the technicals as if you are going for an investment role, because it's always impressive. Salespeople appreciate that. And also it means when you're talking to clients, you can, you know, hold your own ground. You don't always need to take a technical investment professional with you to meetings. You can talk about the technicals yourself. So those are 5 tips or ways for you to increase your chances of getting into asset management, whether it's a spring week internship, grad scheme, or beyond. Hopefully this video was useful and informative for you. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.